There you are. Again. Charlie Greer podcast. Again, I do it every day. Today, we're going to talk about the JFK assassination. Yeah, this is a deep rabbit hole, man. This might be a few episodes, podcast. Yeah, this to me is like the mother of the Elvis of conspiracy. Because I was into it. I was used to be really into it. Had every book. I mean, I everything. I would go to the library and I'd read, because if you're in the JFK assassination, there are two kinds of thoughts that like Oswald did it or it was a conspiracy. So there's books that Oswald did it, and there's see it was. I read them all. I wanted to perspectives. So how I even got exposed, I didn't know JFK. Come on, I can't even. You're a kid. You're not. Last thing you want to think about is something serious like that. No, I want to go. So my mother's father, my grandfather, we'd go to. He had a store in St. Louis, and he had a boat, and anyway, he was like Commodore of the Yacht Club in Alton. So he had like a nice boat, houseboat, or a yacht. It was a yacht. It wasn't even a boat, houseboat. So when we'd go and visit him in St. Louis, his big store and everything. He would like we're to go visit him, go stay on the yacht for the weekend. He ain't having us run. No, look, you guys got to read books. That's what books. I ain't never read no book, And I remember he came up to me and he gave me this JFK assassination book. Man, I must have been like 10, 11. To me, a book that's that thick. It's like, what's he? I almost started crying. Like, I don't know. Okay, at least read the pictures. Look at the pictures and read what's underneath. And I'm going to question, my sister was a little bit older. She's like, ooh, she went and got like a Stephen King book, whatever. He gave it to, I don't know, so we went down at the bottom of the, yeah. And I next thing you know, what? Yeah, killed, shot. So that was my first taste. And then I was, can I keep the book? Yeah, of course you can. And in his store, technically it was an antique store, but it had every kind of thing. He had a book section. I would, anytime I just take every JFK book, and I did over the years until like I used to have a big shelf of JFK assassination books. I deep dive, bro. Now, strange thing back then, late 80s, early 90s, when I was really into it. Everybody thought I was crazy. My girlfriend, everybody. You're dumb. You go into the library. Now, everybody thinks the way that was years ago, man. That's like 30 years ago. And before that, there was other people that probably, since it happened, being made fun of. Damn near everybody believes what I was thinking back. And my once, pardon me, once I got to a certain age, he didn't believe what was going on. He'd done some intelligence work during the World War II or whatever the hell he was doing. So he kind of, hey, you can't, he thought it was a bunch of bullshit. So again, the brief, JFK was assassinated. Oswald was the assassin, supposedly. And then Jack Ruby assassinated Oswald. That's some old school. I mean, they've been doing that since the beginning of time. The assassin, it's him. We killed the assassin. Now come on, man. There's some things that are kind of weird about this case. Not to jump ahead, but okay, so in like 98, when I moved to LA, one of my band members lived in West Hollywood, and it was like the Russian part of West Hollywood where there's this like Russian store, all in Russian. I mean, and these old people speaking Russian, but then it's their kids. It's like the people that were, that you get to talk to, and they speak English, but it's weird, kind of. They talk like, and I'm like, what? I'm not trying to be rude. My this is my second tongue. My first is Russian. And man, when I learned that, because I'd hear these people like, man, they sound like Oswald. Like, I'm just a patsy. I need someone to represent me, how he was talking. I always thought that was kind of weird how he spoke. You get to LA, there's all these people talking like Oswald. And then I found out that, that's how you sound if Russian is your first language. If you learn English, when you're done growing up speaking Russian, you got to learn English. You're going to have a little bit of something, And some had it more. I almost fainted when I did one of those moments, like, huh? And I know that, again, people know this and they're going to pick up on it. And I guess he studied Russian in the Marines, but how long was that for? 6 weeks studying Russian, or 6 months, whatever. And he defected to Russia. And his wife, he married a girl over there who's like daddy ran the KGB or something. She thought, wow, when I first met him, his Russian was so good. I thought he was Russian. Technically, Oswald is like a hillbilly from New Orleans or something. Yeah, just I don't know. I don't know. I think he was from New Orleans. It's strange, man. It's some weird shit going on. And of course, that's the intelligence world. Spy, double dip, sheep dip. Sheep dip means you don't even know what's going on. They done sheep dip you. Spy, double spies, you don't even know what you are, man. You done been sheep dipped. Looked at it. It's an intelligence. And that word sounds so stupid that no one's gonna you can say something in front of that. They think you're talking hillbilly shit. When you're talking some serious stuff, shit that's gonna change the world, assassins and stuff. Oh yeah, and Oswald, when he was in Russia, living high on the hog, had an apartment with a stone balcony. Everybody else can't, like, in line to get toilet paper and lettuce or something, and he says, "Hey, down there." They hooked him up. And then, of course, he comes back, and he had like a wife and kids. He brought back babies. I mean, and back then, to defect, I mean, this is during the Cold War. I don't know. It's strange. Another strange thing about the assassination with JFK is that bolt action rifle he was using, that old World War I Italian made, was it Manu Carcano, whatever it was, that piece of shit. This is why it's such a piece of shit. So it's a bolt action. It's before, I guess it's World War I, or World War II. So when you go click up and then you pull back, there's not another pin to keep it straight. So when you pull back, it falls. So you have to lift it up, get it in kind of, it isn't like guns now where bam, 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 bam. You have to so he did all that shooting within like 6-7 seconds. Something like that. No one has been able to replicate. No one. And I'm talking, they're still trying to do it. Sharpshooters, man. That's what they do. No one has been able to replicate that bam, 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 or whatever he did. That quick. That tells me something strange also. Oswald's a little pale. And you're telling me an elite armsman, a guy that's what he does. He trains other people to shoot. He can't do it. And I grew up around dudes that guns, and they, dude, huh? Something right there. That dog don't hunt. It seems strange. Maybe they're off on the timing. I don't know. Maybe he could. It's just kind of, Again, I've never fired I just watched. It's not like I'm an expert on this rifle. Don't never fire one. But they've never been able to. Not one hillbilly, not one dude, not one kind of. I've heard they got close, but they can't. Also, the people around. It happened in Daly Plaza in Dallas. They're here. They said there was a bunch of pow pow. It's everybody shooting. I think his name was Joseph Babano. He was one of the mobsters, like the most powerful mobster that nobody really heard about. I don't know if a book that was written about him or his brother or daughter wrote about, whatever it was. He said it was from the sewer, like that little sewer opening. And then some dude, it's like, I've got this computer program that can detect movement from. He said that too. Shooting from the sewer. They only got time. That times, but again, you need a marksman. Somebody knows how to do that. I don't know, but let's just speculate here. We're talking out loud, and they say this is just a theory that I heard. So this is, say somebody wants to assassinate the president. Come on, man. You want to? I'm so glad. I mean, I wish the world wasn't like that, but that's how it happened. So you'd need some cover. You'd actually hire some teams that don't even know about each other. You know, maybe some of them were firing blanks. I don't know, but you want to cover so it goes. Hey, it's him, it's them. You might 3 or 4 people that mix it up, so it don't come back to you. You need a couple barriers of. I mean, that's what they've been doing all through time since there was guns, and before that there was knives. You patsies or whatever they are. Oswald claimed he was a patsy, and a patsy is someone being set up. That's a cottage industry right there, man. Patsy in their industries. We come to Patsy. Well, that's old as time too. He did it. I don't know. It's a strange, mysterious world. And Jack Ruby, okay, owned a strip club that the cops went to. That was their play. That was their hang. Waltzes into the basement of. There's so much security, though. Every kind of just the cameras alone, the newspaper people outside. Jack Ruby, just la 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 la. Oh, that's Jack Ruby. You know, he walks in just as they're transporting Oswald. Gets through the that's right, boom, shoots him. Well, they never explained that. Oh, we weren't watching the door that. I mean, then people said they used to see Oswald at that carousel club, his strip club, like all the time. Supposedly they all knew each other, and maybe they did if they were in like an intelligence community. You're doing here, there, you're not doing all the same thing. You might not even know what other people are doing. You're low level, low hanging fruit. You're just a runner, assistant to these other. Who knows? You're glorified janitor for the. I don't know. But every little world you're in, it's small. You think, oh yeah, I mean, it's a small world. Granted, you don't want to paint it, but it's small. It's those little communities like Hollywood. It's but then that little Hollywood, that's small. They know each other or know of each other. Maybe they did run in again. Maybe it's not even nefarious. That's where people go to have a good time. The carousel. There's Jack Ruby. Even Jack Ruby at the end was like starting to talk like, oh no, see, there's stuff I can't say, but if you let me go or take me to Congress to speak, and then he's dead. He died of cancer overnight. Something. And if you look at Oswald, like those mugshot, like when they brought him in after the assassination, does he look like what is he, 22, 24? Does he look like a young? Oh man, my hair is his hair. He receded. I mean, I know people go bald, but come on, he looks like minimum like 35. I've always thought that, like how he looked. He just got a little bit, especially when you get older. He doesn't look 22 or 24 or whatever it was. He was young. He looks like he's a damn near 36 years old or older. And there's news footage. They were walking him around these halls through the interviewing Oswald and there's Jack Ruby. Matter of fact, he's in one footage where he's dressed like a reporter doing this, and he corrects them on some kind of shit that he shouldn't have known about. Like, oh no, is it? Who's that? He'd already been there. I guess it happened on a Friday. Oswald was assassinated on a Sunday, so like that 48 hours. Jack Ruby was all up in all that. Acting like he's a reporter. And what did he correct him? Oswald had some kind of fair play for Cuba committee or some kind of shit. He was the only member. That's another crazy thing. And he's on the news talking about his committee and passing out flammable. And you're the only member and you're getting all this exposure. That dog don't hunt, dude. Again, What if, say if I start a committee and I'm the only member and I got t-shirts and you think that the news is going to interview me? Even with all this, so you think a podcaster will even, come on. He was on like the New Orleans news. Here's Oswald talking about, So they said something. They didn't call it fair play for Cuba Committee, whatever it was called. And Jack Ruby goes, "Oh no, excuse me, you're wrong." And he corrected them. How would he know? He just watches TV, and maybe he was going to join the committee. Who knows? I mean, God, come on. And then when he was on TV, the first time he was handing out pamphlets, he made a mistake and he stamped an address. Well, that the first 100 flyers that went out, that was never on there again. Because you know why? That address was Guy Bannister, I think the dude was, who everybody knew was like FBI intelligent. The building was right across the street from the FBI. I mean, it was the intelligence community in New Orleans. Why is Oswald passing out flyers? They don't even in his address. Somebody must have said, "Hey, don't you ever put dumbass." I'm sorry. Those are tells. That's telling me everything, man. Like, something ain't right. Maybe they were doing something else. That's what I get. He might have been a pat. I don't know. Maybe he did shoot. I mean, everybody thinks he did. In the history books, Oswald's the assassin. Done with. In the 70s, they did the intelligence committee. And they even said there might be a conspiracy at the end of it, but they didn't do anything about it. Oh yeah, that's a conspiracy. Okay, well, we're done. Bye. Just what? Can't we? No. What in the F is going on? Do we want to know? I mean, again, secrets will get you hurt. You don't want to know a certain secret. What do you think? Do you really think that Oswald and why he had the position to kill him? He had a job at the Texas Book Depository somewhere. They were making, handing out school books or making school. I don't know what they were doing. Some kind of bookstore, book factory. Who knows? Storing, but I don't know. He got a job there like 2 weeks before the motor parade. Well, who got him the job there? Well, this girl who is connected to, So I guess they say that, he knew the parade route, took in this box or package, said it was coat hangers or, drape rods. I don't know. He claimed, he said, snuck it in. I guess when he knew they were about to come by around noon or something, he goes up to the top there, makes him a little like sniper's nest out of, boxes of books, and rattles off like, I don't know how many shots, 3, 4, and like, bam, it's like quick that nobody's ever been able to replicate. Then gets back down, hides the gun, gets back down to be found calmly drinking a soda by this cop that came in. First person he saw was Oswald, like, freeze. And the guy working at the book, like, no, this is the guy. This is Lee Harvey Oswald. He works here. Supposedly Oswald, like, what's going on? That's kind of suspicious to me. Then he leaves, gets on a bus, does this, walking through some neighborhood and shoots a cop. That's another thing. J.D. Tippett, I think that cop's name. Oswald shot him. Bam. And again, there were people like sitting on their porches, whatever. They saw that. None of them claimed it. It was a big, hefty guy. A couple of them. But supposedly that was Oswald was, I guess when he was arrested, had that gun. And when he was arrested, he was in like a theater. That's another kind of, they all meet in theaters, man. Especially back then, like the spy thing. Meet me at the theater. There's a movie playing. And why did he looked suspicious? Because Oswald didn't even pay for a ticket. He just walked on in. So the kid went, hey, he didn't pay for a ticket. So they're going to call, and that sparked off, he's the assassin because he didn't pay for a movie ticket. Because they descended, everybody. Was he supposed to meet somebody? Hey, meet us at this theater. Is we going to set you up? I don't know. It's suspicious. It's kind of weird. Strange. Weird. again, normal people aren't thinking along the lines of spy games and intelligence stuff. Me neither. I didn't even know that shit existed until I'm reading these books, and it's like, wow, it's a weird, weird world. There, huh? We have agencies. That's all they do. It gets complicated. I mean, other countries, that's what, and they always have. They've always had some kind of, you know, again, it's sad that we live in a world where people, but I guess we have to. I guess we have to have a bunch of pit bulls around us just to protect us. You know, I don't know, something like that. Because you can't. Again, we all hope that it's utopia, rainbows and lollipops. No, this dude's gonna show up and just take yawn. You know what I mean? Like again, that's the world we live in. It sucks. That's why we have cops and stuff. Wait till the electricity goes out and the cameras and all that stuff and the water and the plumbing and the thing. People are gonna act a little bit strange. They're gonna do things you didn't think they would do. You better hide for the first week. Just go in the wood, you know, stay away from Bigfoots or whatever. But you know, I mean, dig an underground something. Stay away while everybody else goes crazy. Yeah, but that I remember moving to LA, getting into West Hollywood, going to see my friend and bandmate, and we'd walk down on Santa Monica in the Russian area, you know, go to Burger King and some of these. We get pierogies, you know, and I hear these like, dude, how do I know that act? Oh, Oswald sounded like that. People speaking in these Russian people speaking English. Oswald. Well, yeah, he knew Russian, and then I got to know some Russian, and they're like, oh yeah, that's because that dialect, that cadence or whatever, is because their first language was Russian, their second one is English, so it kind of they have a weird cadence. Like it's hard to explain, but I almost got dizzy thinking, man, Oswald, you sounded like that. But sometimes he did. Like there's one footage of him. He sounds as country as I, you know, hey. I don't know. Maybe learning Russian got rid of his, or he was trained. I don't know. Because it's in his, he did study Russian. Back then they called him Oswaldovich. They're making fun of him because he got picked to, and he did do some stuff in the Marines. He was picked. See, some guys are tough. A little bit he went studied in Japan. And one of our bases over there is spy shit for photography. There's another thing. When he was arrested, he had one of those little spy cameras, you know, like one of those. Those were expensive back then. And where do you get one? I don't think they were sold to the public. I don't know. He had that. He had a fake ID. When he got arrested, you figured out. I ain't gonna tell you my real name. Of course they knew, but and I guess that alias he was using, Alex Heidel or whatever it was, it had been used before. Like it was already on a list of. Before all this went down, like 2 years before this went down, they released documents where J. Edgar Hoover was like, "Hey, we got to keep an eye on this kid, Oswald. Someone's using his identity." This was like in '61. J. was assassinated like '63. Maybe they were. Maybe it's Oswald didn't know. Maybe they say, "I'm a patsy." I don't know. Maybe there was two Oswald. Who knows? I'm just asking questions here. I mean, I get. Maybe he did pull off the damnedest shooting that ever was. I mean, I don't know. From behind in a moving car. I mean, that's tough. Maybe he was trained. He was a marksman. I mean, he could shoot. I guess. I mean, that's what, again, when you're in the Marines, they teach you how to. You're going to learn. I've never been in the military, but I've read about it and watched stuff. You know, I don't know how to shoot no gun. I mean, when I was a kid, I ain't shot no gun in forever. I used to have a pellet gun. Matter of fact, a couple of years ago, I bought another. They were discontinuing. You couldn't buy pellet guns in like LA, so Walmart had to be in the Walmart, and not even in LA. I was somewhere outside of LA, and they're like, "Hey, you can have them all for $90." All of them. They had scopes, and I bought like 4 of them for $90. Never shot them. I gave them away as price. I gave them away as price. Like, you give me a pellet gun? I don't know. It's stupid. Zombie apocalypse. Who knows? You might need that. And sold some. I got my 90. I sold a few. Yeah. On Craigslist. But never even did. It's like, so I'm not from that world. I don't know. So I'm not trying to talk out of school like I do know. Again, I'm speculating. I'm not a marksman. There's dudes that's what they do. Don't you think they're going to get good at it? I mean, they're going to be the best. Know how to shoot this, that. Yeah. Honestly, don't like guns around me. Those things can go off. Somebody accidentally touch the trigger. I mean, hey, I just don't like them around. I know nowadays, like, yeah, I mean, I'm that dude. I'm not. I never have. I get why some people. I mean, I don't know. To me, that's the last thing on my mind is to be. Again, I'm not in that world. Never done any intelligence work or anything like that. But that world exists. We live in that world. As much as they say, "Oh no." Yeah, I guess we have to because people are trying to, certain things. It's a slow burn. So in 20 years, we'll be able to, or 40 or whatever. They're thinking ahead. We need people that understand that. So, and again, why would they want to kill JFK? Maybe he was snooping around. Maybe he figured out like, hey, pardon me. I don't know. If you read, there's a lot of theories. I mean, it's just endless. That's a deep rabbit hole, man. It's just, you're going to be down there for a while. A few rabbit holes, multiple, plural. Like it just, well, I just got out of that one. There's 10 more. Well, that's just the one layer. You got to go, dude. That's all you're going to do. Go down another rabbit hole. Because a lot of it is when anything like this happens, of course, people are going to have every kind of, and well, he did it, that's just human behavior. False confessions. I did it. That's stupid. Again, we live in this weird world that people do that. Ask a cop. They read a book, watch a YouTube video. They all coming out of the wood. I did. It's false confessions. There's a fuck. That's a thing too. Why would you want to do that? Because people are crazy. Want attention for what? Why, huh? Again, I don't want any harm for anybody. I want us all to have opportunity and good paying jobs and their kids are doing well and you're, success, Last thing on my mind is like, no, I want it mine. It's all, I don't think that way. I want everybody to at least get an opportunity. And if they mess it up, then hey, whatever. But at least give them an opportunity. At least let them try. That's just me. That's just my humble opinion. I think we'd all be better off if everybody had equal. I'm not talking about communism or anything like that. I'm just talking about, hey, we all should. Even the bad people that steal and take stuff, they're not. Don't you know if people are doing better, you can steal more? It's just simple economics, debit and credit. People don't got anything, you can't steal anything. Duh. That's just caveman thinking. Oh, so take it all. No, hide in the shadows. If that's what you do, hide in the shadows. People don't know who you are. Let them do their thing, making money, buying houses, and then take what you want a little bit. Because if you take a little bit from everybody, you'll have more money than 1,000 million times more than if you just hold people back. I mean, that again. Maybe they don't. Maybe it's power. And we got the money. We don't. Jealousy. It's I, self, me. I don't want to see anybody. See, some people don't want to see you doing good, man. Not too good. Not better than them. Again, it's sad that people are like that, but they are. That's just who they are. So Oswald, I don't know. Jack Ruby, huh? JFK, just, and they killed his brother too, Bobby. He was shot. That's even weird, Sirhan. I'll get into that sometime. But yeah, it's just strange. The 60s were like weird, violent time in our history. And you give it a little bit of time, a little bit of history, you can look back and like, well, see, now that people passed, they could. And I think this is we're going to learn what, you know, maybe they already released it, but they released like 1,000,000 documents. It's going to take us a while to go through them all. You know, it's a lot of, you have to split up in teams and, you know, read all that. It's all blacked out. Maybe. Or maybe I'm just looking into things too much. Maybe Oswald did just fire off those shots and run down all those stairs and lightning speed, and then moseyed on out the front door, got on a bus, then was found in a theater. Because that's the story. That's history. That's fact. You know, maybe it is. Again, it's strange, weird world. It could, I guess. What do you think? How many hums do you have in you? Like, what? See? Think about it. All right. Again, I do this every day. I'll see you tomorrow. Be blessed. I love you. Take care. Cheers.